Welcome to the third part on this week's series, Food Choices and Human Health. This section is going to cover what we can do about developing chronic disease, what type of influence we have on our risk for developing these diseases, and defining nutrients. I'd like to start with some basic food rules. These are modified from Michael Pollan, and I'll start with the first one, which is don't eat anything your grandmother wouldn't recognize. Now, for some of you, this is your great-grandmother because you are still in your 20s. And don't eat anything with more than 5 ingredients. Now, it would be wonderful if we could all eat all whole foods, avoid all packaged foods, but we do live in the modern world, and we are subject to a life that is rushed and sometimes furious at times. This means that we do have to grab for some packaged and processed foods. We want to minimize this, but when you do choose something that has fewer than 5 ingredients. And don't eat anything with ingredients you wouldn't recognize. If you look on a label and you have no idea what that ingredient is, then just put it back on the shelf. Don't eat anything that won't eventually rot. Real food will rot. Some foods such as grains and legumes, beans, they are all going to have a longer shelf life but will eventually rot. Keep that in mind. And lastly, if a product has to tell you it's healthy, it probably isn't healthy. I'd like to talk a little bit about the factors that influence our food choices, and there are a number of them. And we'll start with availability. Right now we have an abundance of food. 100 years ago, food was not so abundant, particularly 200 years ago. And thousands of years ago, we actually had periods of food scarcity. So now we have food abundance and almost too many choices. Cost is going to influence your choice. If you're on a budget, it's going to influence how much you're going to spend. The environment, and what I mean by environment is who's around you. Many times people will eat more when they're surrounded by friends. But if you have friends who have healthy eating habits, you're more likely to eat like them. If they have a taste for French fries and hamburgers, you're more likely to eat that. The type of music that's playing can influence how you eat, and even the type of lighting. Convenience. Again, we all lead really busy lives. If a food is convenient, you might grab it. It could be an apple, which would be a good choice, or it might be a Snickers bar. Either way, convenience is going to impact you. The size of your plates, your spoons, your forks, your cups, your glasses all impact food choices, how much we eat, and how much we put on our plate. And we'll talk about this more next week. There are cultural influences. Some of these might be religious, some of this may be not. It might just be your tradition. And you might have families that cook traditional meals or traditional cultural meals, and that's going to affect what you put into your body. Hunger is certainly an impact. If you are hungry, have you ever gone to the grocery store and you are starving? You just want to throw everything into the cart because you're so hungry, or you might just run in, grab the first thing you can, go to the register, and go out. So it's going to impact the foods that you select. When you're full, you are probably going to select different types of foods. Social values. Some individuals are going to focus on animal rights, meaning they're not going to choose to eat meat. Some are going to focus on environmental impact, meaning that they may not choose an avocado that came from Chile, that they would rather eat in season and locally. Or there might be a number of other choices, whether it's choosing grass-fed meat over conventional. So these all impact the type of food choices we make. Advertising. You may not think you're influenced by advertising, and you may not even have a TV, but now we have ads on our computers. You have them on Facebook. Almost every website you go to is going to have an ad just because it's an easy way to bring revenue and support a website. I know that my husband, every time he sees the Carl's Jr. Western Bacon Cheeseburger advertisement, he literally starts salivating and starts dreaming about hamburgers. So you may not always think that you're influenced, but most people are influenced on some level by advertising, and that can impact your choices. And of course, taste. There are people called super tasters. They have a really hard time with very bitter foods, meaning that they're probably not going to choose to eat cruciferous vegetables, things like broccoli and bok choy, because they're extra bitter to them. We all have certain tastes and preferences, which is going to impact our food choices. This is just a short tour in the grocery store, specifically down the breakfast bar and cereal aisle. And I'm just showing you this to emphasize the point on how many food choices we have, the availability of food. And look at the cereal aisle. There is an entire aisle dedicated to cereal, and some of them not being the best choices. Look here, we have Special K Chocolate Delight. Again, we have more choices for fruits and vegetables, which is also beneficial. This is Dr. Brian Wansink, and he's done hundreds of studies on the factors that influence our food choices. He's the director of the Food and Brand Lab at Cornell University, also the author of Mindless Eating. What I'm going to do is go through just a few of his studies just to show you some of the influences we have over our food choices, how much we enjoy that food, how it impacts our satiety, that's the feeling of fullness, and how much we eat. We'll start with this cartoon. Now look at the gentleman on the left. This tastes great, but boy, am I full. He's eating Belgium Black Forest double chocolate cake. And this gentleman over here, mine was just okay, and I'm still hungry. He's eating just chocolate cake. Now we have the waiter here, who is the one doing the study. This is one of the studies. And he says, if only they knew they were eating the exact same cake. Well, this is one of the studies that Dr. Wansink and his colleagues did. He gave the exact same piece of cake to two groups of people. The only difference was the label. A fancy name with a fancy description meant that people enjoyed the cake more and felt fuller. Simple, basic name meant that people enjoyed the cake less and ate less. And here's another study, the same idea, and this is on the bottomless bowls. Visual cues bias soup intake. Now you can see here the cartoon has the investigator asking, when will you be full? And the consumer, well, when I reach the bottom, meaning when I finish. Now, this isn't actually how they did the experiment, but what they did is they had two groups of people come in. One group had a bottomless bowl, meaning that it continued to refill from gravity, and the bowl never emptied. So they could eat and eat and eat, and the bowl never emptied. Another group could feed themselves as much soup as they wanted, but they actually had to get up and spoon more into their bowl. So they had the option of eating the same amount, but those with bottomless bowls ended up eating dramatically more than those who had to refill it themselves, and saying that they were less full, they were less satisfied than the individuals who ate less and actually felt fuller. So again, what you think you're eating has excuse me, what you think you're eating has an impact. If the candy dish is 6 feet away, you eat half as much. So we start with a receptionist 1 who has candy on her desk. She says, I don't know how you can resist these chocolates. Receptionist number 2, there's 6 feet between me and temptation. So here's the study. They actually used three different methods. One was The candy bowl is on the desk, and they measured how much candy is eaten throughout the day. Number 2, the candy is on a shelf. It's 6 feet away, and they measured how much candy is eaten. There's actually a third one that's not shown here. The candy is in a cabinet, so you know that the candy's there, but you can't see it. So you already know the answer to this question, who eats the most? Well, when it's right in front of you, you eat the most. When it's 6 feet away, you eat half as much. And when it's behind the closet, you don't eat much at all, because out of sight, out of mind. Now we're going to talk more about Dr. Wansink's experiments next week. Now, of course, you notice that one of the factors affecting food choices I left out is nutrition. And that's, of course, what we're going to be spending the most time on this semester. But some people actually do choose foods that that are healthy, or that they think are healthy, or will help them acquire more nutrients. So what are nutrients? What are our essential nutrients? Well, let's start with the definition of essential. Essential means that these are nutrients needed by the body, something that is necessary for the body. And this is usually for our general health, or even for survival. So this is what is essential. Something that cannot be made by the body, or cannot be made in sufficient amounts by the body. So this is essential, something that is essential to the body for health and or survival. And essential nutrients mean these are the nutrients that either cannot be made by the body, or maybe they just can't be made in sufficient amounts. So we need to get them from the diet. That's essential. So, or food. They need to be obtained from food in our diet. Carbohydrates, fat, protein, vitamins, minerals, and the most important nutrient, water. These are our 6 essential nutrients. The macronutrients are the big nutrients, and these are going to be carbohydrates, fat, and protein. Micronutrients are the smaller nutrients. It doesn't mean they're less important, but these are vitamins and minerals. Now you notice I left out water here. Otherwise, we have our 5 of the 6 essential nutrients, water being the most important nutrient, but it's in a separate category. It's not a macronutrient nor a micronutrient. So with macronutrients, carbohydrates divide into starch, sugar, and fiber. And we'll be going into this in plenty of detail later. Fat, we have monounsaturated fats, polyunsaturated fats. And within that fat category, before I move on, I just want to mention that these are our fatty acids. The entire category of lipids, which does include cholesterol and some phospholipids, they are actually not fats. And again, we are going to spend an entire week on this topic, an entire chapter. And then our macronutrients also include protein. So our micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. And of course, the most important nutrient is water. So which of these nutrients give us energy? Carbohydrates, fat, and proteins, our macronutrients, are the ones that we get energy from. We consume the food and we obtain energy from them. Carbohydrates have 4 calories per gram. That means there are when you eat a carbohydrate, you'll be able to get 4 calories of energy per gram of carbohydrate that you consume. Fat has 9 calories per gram, so you'll get 9 calories of energy for every gram of fat that you eat. Protein, 4 calories per gram. So while we're talking about calories, why don't we define what is a calorie? Think about that. Can you define what a calorie is? Well, a calorie is a unit of food energy. And when you think of unit, think of measurement. You can measure distance in feet or meters. So a unit is simply a measurement of food energy. So that is all a calorie is. It's the way we measure the type of energy we get out of food. So when you consume food, you're going to get out energy, because food has energy. And energy doesn't really change, isn't created or destroyed, it just changes form. So we take in food and we get out energy. If we don't use that energy, then we end up storing that energy. And we'll talk about that later this semester. So one last definition is organic. And I know when you think of organic, you are thinking of made without pesticides, grown without pesticides, no GMOs, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the semester. But this definition of organic means containing carbon, and really carbon is life. When we think about carbon containing molecules, we think about the molecules of life. So 4 of our 6 essential nutrients are organic: carbohydrates, fat, protein, and vitamins. Notice that I don't have minerals nor water on this list. Neither of them contain carbon. Keep in mind that minerals are just essential elements. They are at their kind of smallest point already. You can't break them down into anything. So they can't contain carbon because they're their own entity. And we know that water is hydrogen and oxygen. Now, if I were to ask you which nutrients were energy yielding and organic, on an exam, you would say carbohydrates, fat, and protein. We know these are energy yielding. We also know that each of these contain carbon. They're all organic. Now, why isn't vitamins on this list? Well, vitamin is organic. It does contain carbon, but it doesn't yield energy. Vitamins participate in reactions that yield energy, but they themselves do not break down to give us energy, and that's an important distinction.